Hello, my name is Rahman Naeem, and today I'll be talking about Sony because I chose that as my stock. And yeah, let's get into it. This is what I'll be talking through the presentation: a brief description of Sony, the history of Sony, how they handled COVID-19, what they've done the past year, or how much progress they made, some key achievements they made, some potential they have, like the PlayStation 5, the current state they're in right now, some of their marketing stats, and my conclusion and my beliefs. Description: Sony Electronics is one of the main franchises in the audio, video, electronics, and information technology products for the customer professional markets. Their stock opened on December 5th, 1980 at just $7.27 USD. Their stock peaked at $140 USD at the end of March 2000, around the time when they released the PlayStation 2. They have released a bunch of different products in various technology lines like headphones, earbuds, television sets, etc., but they're mainly known for their PlayStation series. Majority of their revenue and profits arrive from the PlayStation franchise. It has been such a huge hit that it revolutionized the gaming industry as a whole, which in return raised Sony stocks by a considerable margin. The history: stock prices for Sony has increased by 60% over the past year. The company is growing so fast at such an exceptional rate that it was predicted to grow operating income by 149% by fiscal 2017. Furthermore, Sony's music and gaming industry is thriving and is very popular, but the other projects and stuff they're working on is meh. They have been struggling year by year. This makes it difficult for long-time investors to actually invest in the corporation. Many people overlook this solely because of how well the gaming and music industry is actually going. It goes so well and rakes in so much money, many people look over the fact of the side hustles in a say. For example, the fake Grand Order game where they added their Sony music segments in the soundtrack, that is expected to increase sales by 20% to $6.9 billion in total. As for the gaming industry, it's even better. It has been growing non-stop since 2013, the launch of the PlayStation 4. That's 7 years straight non-stop growth. It broke records on their first day of release and sold 73.6 million units in December 2017 alone. Other than the actual sales, they continuously make money by selling PlayStation Plus so customers can continue playing online, which racks up a lot of money considering we are talking about 30 million users. COVID-19 recovery. Sony took virtually no damage by COVID-19, which is a huge advantage and a lap ahead other companies which COVID-19 almost destroyed and put out of business. During COVID-19, the CEO of Sony himself said, Sony estimates that there will be no material impact on this business for the current fiscal year. When COVID started, Sony did take a little detour from the usual stocks. However, Sony rapidly increased their stock, and in only a matter of months, they actually were doing far better before COVID even happened. That's not something every company can even say. In fact, most companies were struggling to stay open. The way Sony dealt with COVID and actually bounced back harder than before COVID proves just how strong Sony as a company actually is. Sony's past year. Sony for the past year have been upgrading and promoting the newly made product called PlayStation 5. They have been promoting it every single chance they get, guaranteeing that it'll put previous consoles generations to shame. Other stuff include being voted as one of 2019's most ethical company, 2019 Best Customer Service in Electronics, and Gold rating in the 2019 Pride Index. Some of their progress: they have successfully created a console that can run a solid-state drive or SSD instead of the standard hard drive or HDD. To put it in simpler terms, this is a hard drive and brains of the console. Although SSD is significantly more powerful than HDD, consoles have never been implemented them due to the high risks it contains. For this generation, however, that changes. SSD has been implemented, creating faster loading times, faster boot times, and an overall smoother experience. Some key achievements: other than the insane update of SSD in consoles, there have also been other improvements like immersive 3D audio tech where the controller and the headset will sync together, giving the feeling that you're actually in game. Backwards compatibility with previous consoles so you don't need to repurchase your favorite games, and compatibility with 4K Ultra HD TV. The PS5 potential. This has been the final project Sony has been working on since they introduced the PlayStation franchise back in the early 2000s. Sony has confirmed that the PlayStation 5 will be the last gaming console released. This has brought the already overhyped console into full mode chaos. Just today, Sony restocked all of their PS5s that are available, and in mere minutes it was sold out. In minutes. From personal experience, I even tried purchasing the PlayStation 5 through Walmart after I got the notification that were restocked, but by the time I even got to put the PS5 in my cart, it was out of stock. This hype on this type of scale is sure to rake in an unbelievable amount of money. It has been predicted that by March 31st, 2021, Sony is looking around 2.6 trillion yen in revenue, or 32.2 billion Canadian dollars, and 300 billion yen, or 3.7 billion Canadian dollars in profit. That is an absurd amount of money for one product alone, but that is just how much potential the last generation PlayStation 5 brings to the table. The current state. Sony is currently putting all its effort and brainpower into the PlayStation 5 as that has been recently released. Sony cannot keep up with the demand as every time they restock their shelves in a few minutes they are out of stock again. This is a case of high demand and low supply where the supplier or the producer cannot meet with the demand. Every day that goes by while it is still out of stock is wasted revenue for Sony as those are missed potential profits. This has caused lots of angry and unsatisfied customers demanding Sony for an answer, in which they reply that they promise to be fully stocked by the holidays and promises everyone who wants a PS5 will be able to purchase one. This is a direct correlation with how Sony stock is doing. Currently, Sony stock is at its peak in the last 15 years, mainly because of just how well the PlayStation 5 sales are performing. Before the PlayStation 5 launch, Sony stocks were at $83.66 USD, but now, just after a single month of the launch, it has risen to $93.83 USD. Some marketing stats. Sony's opens are $93.80. Their highs are $94.30. Their lows are $93.58. Their market cap is $118.33 billion. Their BPE ratio is 13.10. Their dividend yield is 0.44%. Their previous close is around 92.6252. Their week high is 94.8252. And their week lows are 50.94. Ex-dividend date was March 27th, 2020. The 1-year target is 106.89. Their consensus rating score is 2.8, which means as a consensus rating is a buy SNE. My conclusion overall, with all this information and data given, I believe Sony will continue to grow and grow into a much bigger company than it already was, as the new innovations and new stuff they keep on bringing in, like the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, will likely bring in more customers and bring previous customers back into the fray. The company is doing very well and exceeding expectations, growing almost non-stop. They have a huge fan base behind them, and that will cause the stock to go up. And that is what I thought about Sony stock.